Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to European Truck Simulator 2, and welcome to Klagenfurt in Austria. So we did swap out our truck. We swapped out to our little Scania. I guess it's not the littlest one we have. We've got the this is the top line. Yeah, I think we've got just a plain Jane day cab. Yeah, high line, top line. It's not the long line, I know that. Anyway, enough talking. Let's get to it. We're going to take these Lamborghini tractors. Fantastic. Great sound in this truck too. We are going to take these Lamborghini tractors to somewhere down into northern Italy. And so everything's good here. Everything's good here. Lift axle is down. Fantastic. Here we go. So this is 1.35. I wanted to do, I always want to drive at night. You know that, but I rarely do, or I try not to. I guess that's a better way to say it. I try not to because it doesn't make for the best video, but the lighting in 1.35 is good. So, moment. There we go. We're going to need a map here, because we don't have sat-nav in dash. There we go.
Get ready to turn left.
The lighting in 1.35 is, it's different, it's better. I like it, and I wanted to take a look at it. Plus, I just like driving at night. I really do. I really do. What is going on? Well, I have to say, and this is on me, I will 100% accept responsibility for this. 1.35 is barely holding together at this point, and it's because I have so many mods. It is what it is, you know. I've got almost 100 mods in Euro Truck, and that's a lot. The majority of them are from the workshop, but a lot of them are not. And I have to say, the ones that are not, I don't know what version they're for, because it's if you don't get the red exclamation point in the mod manager, it can be done. You can definitely, do the forensics yourself. But essentially what you need to do is just keep going through your game log and finding out which mods are throwing errors. And the problem that I'm having there is I have so many mods and they're all throwing so many errors, but they always have. And that's what I said earlier. The game holds together. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not good. It's not good, but it's holding together, and so we go with it. But really what I need to do is go in and clean out my mod folder. And really what I need to do is go in and empty my mod folder of everything except my skins and my Jazzy Cat packs, and really have nothing else in there other than, well, at some point ProMods will go in there. And I might. And what I'm thinking, what's on my mind is that the game is getting solid enough that with less mod content, it is still equally playable. And that's been one of my things about certain types of games, certain types of sims. I gotta swing a little wide here. Carefully. Certain types of games, certain types of sims, they just really aren't worth playing without mods. You know the ones I'm talking about. Here we go. Carefully. There we go. You know the kinds of sims that I'm talking about. It's just, it's not the same. It's just not the same without mod content. Well, as a developer, that's a bit of a moral hazard, is it not? Because on some level, it's like, well, we don't need to, for lack of a better word, finish this game. We don't need to keep working on this. The mod community will take care of it for us. So I don't think it typically goes the other direction, where you've got a sim that relies on mod support, and then that developer takes the initiative to make the game good without mod support. Did I say that right? I think you see what I'm getting at. So I never would have thought that as stripped down, because it was, as stripped down as this game was, early days, that there would ever be a time where there would be enough DLC content and enough base game content that we could maybe start to forego some mods. I wouldn't have anticipated that. But to me, it's beginning to look like, you know, all the things that they've brought in, all the things that SCS has brought in, maybe we could try a vanilla profile, just skins, Jazzy Cat packs, and workshop mods. And we'd lose a lot of stuff. I mean, when we get to a stopping point, maybe I'll show you this truck. This truck is, well, the truck itself is the RJL Scania, that's a mod. But then, like, every part that's hung on it is a mod part. It's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. Lights, you know, I got some little side marker lights that I really like. I've got Scandinavian fuel tanks, what have you. Could the game be as good without those mods? Yeah, probably. I mean, just as good? No, maybe not just as good, but as good, you know, and there's a difference. It's not going to be exactly the same, but I guess, you know, if you wanted to think about a race sim has 80 cars in it. Well, what if you took half those cars away? Physics would be the same, you know, the look and feel would be the same, and I'm guessing there'd still be some cars that you like in there. Would it be as good? Probably. Would it be just as good? No. But yeah, it would still work.
Get ready to turn left.
So when I think about pulling a bunch of mods out, you know, because it's only ever gone in one direction for me, you know what I'm talking about. You may clean your mod folder out periodically, but for the most part, we're all mod hunters. We're constantly looking for new ones, to the point where sometimes I don't even evaluate a mod before I bring it in. I'll take a quick look at it and think, yeah, that's something I'll be interested in, and I'll throw it in my mod folder. And let's see, this is going to be a little tricky getting out of here. God, this game looks so good. I don't know how well this is showing up on your monitor, your tablet, your phone, whatever it is you're watching on, but 1.35 looks so good. Wow. Although I think I did just see lights shine through a truck. Now, honestly, that is one of the, I wouldn't say it's hard to do. I mean, it's easy to do, but it just devours memory when you have things casting shadows, because suddenly, oh, I don't know, I may not even say this right, but essentially every shadow is like two lights. So if you have a complex object come by in front of a light and cast a shadow, it's like adding a bunch of lights to the scene. I don't know, something. But it's really tricky to make moving things cast shadows without absolutely murdering FPS. Well, that's how it goes. Anyway, we all tend to be mod hunters. We love seeking and finding and adding mods. And like I said, sometimes I don't even really evaluate as well as I should. I just see it, it looks good, I throw it in my mod folder. Sometimes I don't even use it right away. I get a mod, I think, I'll use that someday. And now it's just taking up space in my mod folder, and it might be 2 or 3 weeks later, a month later, before I use it for the first time. Realize that it's not so good, but because it has other mods on top of it now, if I filter by date, and because the way that these things are named, and there's so much scandal out there, that the name of the mod may have nothing to do with the name of the folder, and you know what I'm saying? And so I end up with some schmutzy mods in my mod folder for any sim. So I think it's rare for most people that are into modded games to want to go backwards and to say, you know, I have 100 mods. I'm not going to clean my mod folder. I'm just going to I'm going to say from now on I'm only going to have 70 mods. I'm going to go pick out my 30 least favorite and get rid of them, which I suppose is a form of cleaning out your mod folder, but you know what I mean. To me, cleaning out your mod folder is going through and getting rid of the junk and the absolute, you know, clutter and useless stuff. And that's a little different than saying, you know, I have 30 mods that I use. I'm going to pick 20 that I like the best and get rid of the other 10, even though I like them too. Even though I like them too, they're gone. And I guess the point of all that, I guess what I'm trying to get to, is that the base game and DLC is good enough now. Maybe we don't need as many mods as we did. And that would be, I don't know, I mean, does that really happen? If you can think of an example of a developer that released a game that needed a lot of help from the community, and then that developer gradually, like, took it upon themselves to finish the game on their own and sort of supersede those mods. If you can think of one, let me know. Because off the top of my head, I can't think of one. I can't think of one. So that is that. There's still no date for Road to the Black Sea. And that's cool. That's cool. We've got plenty going on. We always do. We got plenty going on with ATS. And race sims are keeping me busy, and farm sim is keeping me busy, so I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm guessing it'll be here in the next few weeks. Looking forward to it, though. And again, I mean, ProMods says they have no impact on FPS. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I can see it with my own two eyes, and therefore I do not believe it. And it's big. You know, it's probably... Oh dear, oh dear, oh. Thought I had a little bit more room behind. That car was coming up pretty fast. Oh, what the hell was I talking about? Road to the Black Sea, staying busy, other things have... Hang on, let me get my wipers turned off. Oh, I can't even remember. I completely, like, zoned out there for a second. But it'll be here when it gets here. And in the meantime, we got plenty to do. We got plenty to do. What's there any other... I'm trying to think of anything else as far as news. No, not really. I mean, nothing new since last video.
Go straight on.
I do like these roads. I feel like this is an older part of the map, but also that it's been cleaned up a little bit. I mean, I know it's an older part of the map, but it feels a little cleaner and smoother. I wonder if they can go in and repair some of this stuff. Like these fog stripes right here. You know, I've been kind of going on and on about this, but these fog stripes here have that smooth radius that in some of what I think of as the older parts of the map you don't see. You can definitely see it here. And this is an older part of the map, is it not? I thought it was. So I guess what I'm wondering is, are they going to go through and refurbish all parts of the map as they have done with Germany? That's a big job, man. That's a big job. And you know what else is tricky about a job like that is nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's already done. You've got your money for that already. That's commitment from a company. I know I sound like I've been going on and on about how awesome SCS is. Just talking about gaming. That's all. I don't know SCS from a hole in the ground. They seem like nice folks. But that's base game, and people have already bought it. It's already made money for the company. It's there's a business term for it. It escapes me at the moment, but basically it's done. You've already invested your money in it as a developer. You've already received money back from it as a business. You don't need to go in and fix it. You can spend your resources, as far as time and labor, manpower, whatever. You can spend that working on new things. So to go in and finish something, I wouldn't say that nobody cares about it, but it's just not it's not typically how it's done in business. People don't fix things that have already been forgotten about, but it certainly seems like that's what SCS is doing. So good on them. This is one of my favorite parts of the map. Austria, Switzerland, and northern Italy. Very twisty, very tight, very scenic. I love it. I know you can't see much of the scenery because it's so dark, but it's a fun part of the map to drive on. For me, anyway. What else is going on? Nothing. Nothing, man. There's nothing going on. It's just the dog days of summer. Well, it's not quite the dog days. In the United States, dog days would be July and August. And I don't know where the term exactly comes from, but it's like the hottest part of the summer. It's getting there. It's pretty hot where I am. It's not as hot as it's gonna get, but that's it, man. It's just summertime in the south, you know. And oh, there you go. Believe that was a Lamborghini police car. That's got to be a real thing somewhere in Italy. There's a policeman driving a Lamborghini. Must be. I gotta pass this guy. Or are we gonna make our move? How about right here? Here we go. Yeah, really, I have to say this is like a miracle that it's holding together. I know. Just till I can get over. There we go. Yeah, I've got so many errors, and it's, well, I've got warnings, I've got errors, and it holds together, but that's more a credit to luck, I think, than anything else. Because it's, and I have reset the economy, I've done a couple things, but apparently it's just not, you know, it's that mod life. Eventually your mods clutter the game up, and you have so many relics and legacy items and various other things that it's really just you're rolling the dice every time you boot the game up. But we're doing all right. I would never have thought, if you had told me a few years ago that I would spend this much time playing a game where you just drive a truck around Europe, I would not have believed you. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, the sun will be coming up probably in another 10 minutes or so. So we'll get some daylight. We'll get to do a little daylight driving. But yeah, it's, you know, and I noticed the same thing. Assetto Corsa Competizione patched up yesterday, day before. Yeah, today's Sunday for me, so Friday, I think. Patched up twice, actually. They moved up to 1.0.3, and then like an hour and a half later they went to 1.0.4. Oh, Kunos, come on, man, get it together. But the game, it didn't pick up, for me anyway, it didn't pick up any FPS. It's just smoother. It wasn't quite stuttering, but it was doing something. There was something going on there. It just wasn't right. It wasn't right. And even though it's on paper no faster, it looks a lot better. It looks a lot smoother and more flowing. And I think that's something that I can also say comfortably about both ATS and ETS on DX11. They might not be faster on my FPS counter, but they certainly seem a little smoother. Like something's, I don't know, like it's rendering more easily. I don't know, something's going on. Something's going on. I think we want to be over here. Because that sign has a tarp over it. Although, I like that, I like that you can sort of read through the tarp. Check this out as we go under it.
Exit right.
Yeah, it's covered, but it's like they're teasing you. I think they did that with ATS2. There are signs for Salt Lake City, which is in the state of Utah, if you're not familiar. And it's, to me, that makes it clear that at some point Utah will be added to the game. Although I'm sure SCS has plans to add the entire United States to the game, so adding Utah would be, of course, no big deal. Well, I don't mean no big deal like as a developer, but I mean, of course, it's going to be in there. You know what I mean. So from here, we'll go down into Italy. We won't be able to get to Greece until ProMods drops. You know what I was thinking about? As I was getting ready to record this morning, I thought we've been like making our way around Europe clockwise more or less for a year. And I've made so many videos. I've made like over 500 videos in the past year. This has really turned into a thing for me. But I honestly, off the top of my head, I cannot remember if we made it all the way around and we're on our second trip. I think we got interrupted a couple times. But it takes, at 30 to 50 minutes a week, it takes a long time to make your way all the way around Europe. And, I mean, if you were to just sit down and do monster sessions in ETS, and I know people do. I know there are people that are driving ETS for like 5 hours a day. You could do it in a week. You could do it in a week. But for us, it's taken quite a while to make our way around here. And I'm okay with that. I like that. I've really enjoyed the trips, and it's fun every week to decide what to do. Like swapping out, we were in our DAF, and we swapped it out for this Scania. And I kind of decided that at the last minute, but we've made several trips in the DAF. Time to switch it up a little bit. But, switch it up to what? And there's a couple trucks that I have that won't start right now. They need to be patched up by the mod maker. The Mercedes Antos, I think, is just gone. I hate to say it because it's one of my favorite trucks, but it's really sporadically maintained. And apparently the original mod maker handed it off to somebody, but now they have it back. I don't know. Find a good gear here. There we go. And that sucks because I really, really like that truck. But it just won't work. I want to say that it's been patched up to 1.34. I think those are the notes that I saw on the SCS Soft blog, or the SCS Soft forum, rather. I think I saw that it had been patched to 1.34, and then another patch just dropped for it in late May, like May 30th or something, which is only a couple weeks ago, and the 1.35 beta was out at that time. So my assumption was, well, this patch was for the patch to the truck was for the 1.35 patch beta because it was released after, you know what I mean? After 1.35 was in beta. And no, didn't work. Didn't work. Which is, that's back to that gray area. It's like, well, how much room do we have to complain when people are just giving us this stuff? And, it is a gray area. Just because somebody's doing something for free doesn't mean it's okay for them to do it badly. And if they do it badly, do we have any latitude to, like, let them know? Maybe you could improve this, maybe you could tighten this up. I don't know. I mean, if we pay for something, we certainly have that right. We've bought that right with our purchase. We can participate in that product now, but for something that's free, I don't know. Do you have that same, or are you just being rude? Or is the mod maker being kind of an a-hole when they say, don't complain about this, I made it for free? Well, how are you going to get any feedback? How are you going to get any constructive criticism if you won't listen to anybody? So I don't know, but I've tried to, I've tried to like interact with people a few times online, and Reddit and various forums, and I find people to be, for the most part, just way too dogmatic. They're just way too committed to their favorite game. They don't want to hear a word from anybody, so they won't hear one from me. Perhaps we should not talk, and we don't. So I don't have any real feedback for the Antos developer. I do need to check out Reims and see if he's got anything. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. This has always been a bit of a pet peeve of mine. 4 o'clock in the morning and every light in those windows is on. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't quite say it's a no-brainer, but I That's something I would like to see SCS address in base game, to have a little bit more selective lighting. And I know it can be done because Grimes has done it for both base game and ProMods. Although there's like a caveat with his realistic building lights mod. It's something about the age of the area. It works better in older areas. It works better in new areas. Oh. Ah. That was terrible. That was... Oh. That was terrible. When I turn my head even the tiniest bit, I lose the ability to control the vehicle in any kind of meaningful way. It's crazy. Like, as long as I'm looking straight ahead, I'm smooth. I'm smooth. But if I turn my head just a little bit, like, I can't judge the steering anymore. So that was almost really, really bad what just happened right there. We lucked out because that could have been terrible. Find a good gear here. There's one. There we go. Oh, we're getting close. And the sun is coming up. That's perfect. We'll get into... Where did we say we were going? I don't even remember. Somewhere in northern Italy. We'll be getting in just as the sun comes up. Fantastic. And fingers crossed we make it all the way to our delivery with no crash. That's the worst time to have a game crash, by the way, is right at the end of a video, right at the end of a recording, because it's like, oh man, do I just try to record the end and splice them together, or do I start again? I hate starting again. I really do. I really do. First take is always the best take for me. There we go. Lock in cruise control. Man, it has been raining. It's been raining all night. It's been raining since we left our yard in Austria. Interesting. Interesting. There's the police. Man, when I looked over at that cop, I just caught out of the corner of my eye how much money we have. We got 1.8 million euro. We got a couple bucks. Good on us. And we can buy, I mean, I've got all the trucks and garages I want. The only time I buy a garage really is to fast travel. So we can definitely buy things. I just can't think of anything to buy. Maybe we'll come up with something. Maybe I'll think of something off camera this week. And I think I may have mentioned this in ATS. If I haven't, I'll mention it right now. All the Jazzy Cat packs are patched up to 1.35, all whatever, 7 or 8 of them. And we're running all of them. Now, I don't run his cargo packs because we have so many mod trailers anyway, but I run all his traffic packs. I run the AI cars, the motorcycles, the trucks, painted trucks, and painted BDF trucks, and the buses. I think that's it. That really adds a lot to the map for me. Let's slow it down a little bit here. That really adds a lot to the map, to me. And you know, going back to what I was saying earlier about, you know, could we run without mods? Is the game that packed full of goodness now? You know, I would consider running without ProMods, I think, before I considered running without Jazzy Cat packs. Is that crazy?
Keep right.
I don't know, man.
Exit right.
Base map plus DLC, it's a big map now. It's a really big map. I mean, ProMods is always going to add something, but Iceland is cool, but Iceland is a novelty, and we know it. You know, it's like Greece. In the Italia DLC, you get Italy, obviously, and those islands down south, right? And at some point, they'll have we do have all of France now. We have where are we going here? I can't decide. Let's just use this one. We have all of France now and just a little bit of Spain in base map. And I feel like... Hang on. Turn my wipers up too. Right there. Right there. We have all of France and a little bit of Spain in base map. So at some point, are we going to get Corsica and have all the islands in the Med? I don't know. But basically what I'm saying is there have been so many areas added to base map and DLC that I think I could almost get by without ProMods. I don't want to, but I almost could. But could I ever get by without my Jazzy Cat packs? Because that's the thing I feel like, because of the licensing, that's the thing that base game will never have. And to me, that is an immersion killer, is to see those same 30 or 40 made-up company names going by. And like I said, that's just business, you know. The idea that SCS could license all of those company logos and all of those company skins, it would be impossible. And I know, practically it can be done because somebody's doing it, you know. This whoever makes the Jazzy Cat packs, they do it. So it can be done in a practical sense, but that's not legal, you know. And that's the workaround that SCS uses, is they say, hey, somebody from the community made it. If you want to sue somebody, sue them. And he gives it away. He's not making any money. I don't know how the laws work in the EU, but that's definitely a bit of a legal loophole that mod maker kind of slips through. And
get ready to turn right.
SCS, I feel, on some level knows that. It's the same thing the Giants did with John Deere in FS17. John Deere and Klaus.
You have arrived at your destination.
Not officially licensed
your
content,
guidance is now finished.
but some of the most popular tractors. So Giants allowed John Deere tractors in the mod hub. And Klaus. They knew that. So I feel like SCS has kind of found a workaround. You know, I'm going to do a quick delivery here because we made it, and I honestly didn't know whether we would or not. So we made it the whole trip, and rather than take any chances, I'm going to end it now before we have a game crash. Level 30 here. Okay, so we got a little ways to go, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of European Truck Simulator 2, and we'll see you next time. Take care now.